All right. Well, I am doing the Mount Elden Lookout Trail. This is the standard way up Mount Elden. I have another video that will be linked in the description below on the Mount Elden Slabs route, which is a nice off-trail route if you're looking for a little bit more spice and adventure. But this is just the standard way most people go up Elden. So this is a little over 5 miles. I think it's like 5.2, 5.3 miles round trip with about 2,400 foot of elevation gain. So it's basically like doing a double camelback, more or less, maybe slightly less than that. But in terms of mileage and elevation gain, it's pretty close to a double camelback. So this is easy the first quarter mile like this. It's flat, and then it will gradually ramp up and it will be pretty steep for a good like 1.5 miles up. So if you live in Flagstaff, you can see the towers up there. So that's where we're going. I guess they look pretty high up, you know, 2,400 feet up. So this is a good leg burner, definitely a good workout, and great views from the top. So we've come up pretty flat the first half mile, started to go up a little bit. But if you're taking the Elden Slabs, you bang a left on the pipeline trail right here, go down not very far, quarter mile, and then so that rock slope you see, that is the Elden Slabs route. You got to get up through boulders onto the slabs, and then you walk steeply straight up those slabs. So that is like twice as steep as this is. I mean, this trail is going to be 1,000 foot a mile, these 2 miles. Those slabs, that's about 2,000 feet in 1 mile that you're going up. Definitely a good calf burner, definitely a good workout. And if you're into adventure, I would definitely recommend doing that. My video, I think, is the best one on the internet that you can find. So please check it out. Like I said, I'll link it below. But we're slowly gonna start ramping up here and get steppier. But it really is like the last mile, 1.5 miles. I feel like even this next half mile isn't terrible. But then it starts to ramp up. So anyway, we have 2 miles and over 2,000 feet of elevation to gain. So just wanted to show you, we've hit another junction here. You can continue Fat Man's Loop. I've never actually gone around. I don't know if it goes around the mountain or I think it drops down low. But anyway, you can see you bang a left for the Elden Lookout Trail. So according to the stats, we're 0.7 or 0.6 miles in, I guess. It's like 2.25 up, so 0.65 in. 1.6 to go, but we probably have, I don't know, 17 or 1,800 feet to go, if I had to guess. So just like, looks like this, rocky, steppy, sometimes steeper, sometimes not. But like I said, we will hit a point when we get like halfway up where it turns pretty steep. It's like a little steppy section. There's like rock steps or maybe wooden steps. That's sort of the transition to the really steep part. Right here is not bad at all, but it's coming. So you can see the town down there. We've already come up, you know, 600 feet maybe, but we'll get better views the higher we get up. So this is gonna take about 45 minutes probably all in, or sorry, just up. You know, down will be a little quicker, maybe 35. But for me, this is roughly a 45-minute hike, which is 20-minute miles up, but they're steep miles. So I'd venture to say we're about halfway up. You can't see the towers, but it's gotten significantly more steep and steppy. I mean, these are big 12, 18, 24-inch steps that you're climbing up. And then I think we're gonna hit that steep steppy section after we bend left. I think we're getting closer to it. So I'm thinking we're about halfway up, but I could be off on that. Like, look at these big steps, big 2-foot steps. So we're getting there, but definitely steep. So I will check in higher up. So this is the step section I'm talking about. I think right around the corner here. It's a pretty steep segment, but I could be wrong. Yeah, so you hit those rock steps, and then this is real steep right here. It got steep before this, so this is not the first steep section by any means. So we're just going to continue to wind our way up, and there's the rib. If you were taking the Elden Slabs, you'd be up on there, so you'd be higher than we are now, in other words. We have a nice little flatter one right here. You can see how far up we've come. We're probably 2/3 to 3/4 of the way up, if I had to guess. When we get near the top, there's a junction. If you want to bypass the summit, it's called, like, I forget what it's called, Sunrise or Sunlight Trail or something. Or if you want to go to the actual lookout tower, you like branch off with 1/10 of a mile left or something. So anyway, climbing again. You can see, well, you can see a high point up there. I think the towers are more to the left, but you can see that's a good 400 or 500 feet above us. So I'd say we have at least 500 feet to go, if I had to guess. So I will check in probably at the junction when we're getting closer to the summit. So now we're bending back left. You can see the towers up in front of us. So that's, I don't know, 300 to 400 feet, say 400 conservatively above us. So we got to cut back. We'll cut up there. We'll hit the junction. We'll go to the summit. So not too much further. Last, 15% or so, give or take, in terms of the climb. I guess less in terms of the distance, but almost there. We'll be there in 5 to 8 minutes. So I was close. I think I said sunrise or sunlight. It is the Sunset Trail that wraps around. It'll take you to the road, which you can take all the way down, but we have to bang a left to get to the actual lookout and summit. But from here, it's only like, I don't know, 0.15 miles maybe. Probably got another 200 feet to gain. So not too bad. You can see, I think you can see the tower up there? That's where we're going. So not too much longer. So I will check in. Oh look, fire down there. I will check in at the top. We're actually over 45 minutes now, so this is more like a 50-minute hike today. That's okay. And we've made it, kind of. There's not really a true high point. You can get up here to sort of the highest rock, which I will. Saw my first other people today. Passed a family of 4 with 2, I don't know, 7, 8-year-old boys. So they're doing good getting up here. So here's sort of the highest land. You want to be on the highest land, it's this rock. And of course the tower's closed. There we go. Highest land, Mount Elden. I'll show you the other peaks. I'll go to the other views. But I think that's Kendrick out there that you're seeing. Or maybe it's the one over there. One of those two is Kendrick, I believe. Which I don't have a video on, but I've done before. And then you can see all these little volcanic cones out there. And as you leave the forest and descend, and the landscape changes dramatically out of the pine forest. So you're looking at, I always get 89 and 89A confused. Whichever one goes up to Page is this road right here. But it hits a high point, 7,200 feet, give or take. And then it drops off down. You hit Cameron where the Little Colorado is. Eventually Ajo where the gas station is, or Gap where the gas station is. And then on your way to Page out there, way out there. So, and Lake Powell and all that. So this is Mount Elden. It's a good steep hike, but not too long, not too difficult, all class 2. So I'll walk around. So this Elden Lookout says 92.99. I guess maybe that's no, because the land is only like 9,000. This tower is not 300 feet high, so that is a little confusing to me. But this says 92.99 elevation. I think the land's at about 9,000. I should have just kept the camera on. So there is a little marker on this low, a USGS marker on this rock here, which is clearly lower than that rock. But there you're seeing, so that's not actually Humphreys you're seeing. Humphreys is behind. I believe that's, I think that's Agassiz, Fremont, Doyle that you're seeing, but it could be Fremont and Doyle that you're seeing, and you're not even seeing Agassiz and Humphreys. Actually, that's probably right. I think you're seeing Fremont and Doyle are those two peaks. And then beyond, you would see Agassiz and Humphreys. So there's sort of the view of the big boys over 12,000 feet. And then, yeah, maybe Kendrick is actually that one out there. Not there, and definitely not there. Yeah, I believe it's going to be that one out there is Kendrick. That's a good, like, I don't know, 11-mile hike. So anyway, it's a perfect day up here. It's got to be like high 40s, 50 degrees, perfect weather. Hey, how's it going? Oh. There you have it, Mount Elden. You can see there the radio towers up there. We just came down 2,400 feet, so great little hike. Good to get a little action in.